What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Investing Bros, our live show in the afternoon. And you guys are seeing me in a new location. You might see a lot more of me in this spot. This is my new dungeon. We're doing a lot more trading, a lot more looking at charts throughout the day. So I'm very excited about that. But with that being said, crypto is doing some crazy things right now. And we very well might be seeing some fireworks to close out the year. A lot of coins are breaking through resistance right now and making aggressive moves to the upside. We're going to be talking about that and a lot more because there is some other news. So make sure, go ahead and strap on in here. If you are already a subscriber of the channel, guys, we are at 60. I think we're at 6,500 already. I think we crossed that this morning. 500 more subscribers. We hit 7,000. Let's do it before 2024. And then who knows how far we actually make it in that year. It's going to be amazing. But go ahead and smash that like button so we get more people in here into the live stream. With that said, I am joined by my co-host, Mr. T. Shroom, from down there in good old Gainesville, Florida. T. Shroom, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling better than I deserve, Tim. Doing really,
Good.
really well. Yep. Glad to be back. Got to go live today at 9 a.m., and that was a lot of fun. Talking about some of the updates in the ETF world. We'll get to a little bit of those here in our news section. But how was your Christmas, my man?
It was good, man. We got to relax. I'll tell you as this. Since we started doing stuff with Blowfin, which, by the way, shout out to Blowfin, one of the sponsors of the channel. If you guys are looking to trade, check out the link down below. We'll talk about them a little later as well. But since we started using Blowfin 2.5 weeks ago, I have traded or been in a trade every single day, and I'm loving it. It's doing great. That's why we got some really cool stuff in Discord for it. But I hadn't taken a single day off. And I finally, on the weekend, I said, you know what? I don't care what happens. I'm not entering any trades. And that kind of sucks for the Solana stuff because that really popped off. Could have made a good amount of money there. I probably would have taken profit too soon anyway because who thought that we were going to go to $120? But I didn't trade it at all. And you know what, T-Shroom? Despite the fact that I saw some coins make some moves that I was like, okay, I thought we were going to have some pumps, but I just wasn't in a trade. It was very relaxing. Like, no matter what you guys think about trading, I definitely recommend at some point dabbing your toes in the water, being conservative, making sure you have good risk to reward ratio. But if you're a trader, having some time to just step away from the charts, you don't have that pump. I mean, when everything's going well, you get that dopamine shot and everything shoots up. But then if, trades aren't going your way, you got that tinge of anxiety, let alone if you're in a trade still when you go to sleep, that constant desire to wake up in the middle of the night and check your trade. It's nice sometimes to get some rest, not look at charts, not look at trading, and relax with the family. And that's exactly what I got to do for Christmas. So fantastic time for me. What about you, T-Shirt? What'd you do?
I had a ton of time with family. Went out and spent the night, 3 nights out at Amanda's folks' house. Had a really great time. Shared a little bit about Bitcoin, not a whole lot. They're all pretty much have seen the show once or twice, and so either they're in or they're out. But had a good time with them, and had a lot of time with the dogs. There's a little one running around too, so got to interact with the young mind. Always a lot of fun. These kids are going to be real smart by the time they get a little older and hit the job market. It's going to be very awesome to see the integration of the younger generation. I do have a quote here for us today, Tim. That is that the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. That, of course, from your boy Socrates, otherwise known as Socrates. What do you think about that one, Tim?
That's a good quote, man. And it's hard. It's very hard not to dwell on the past. And you need to remember the past. You need to learn your lessons from what has happened behind you. But no, it's absolutely right. You have to fix your eyes on the future. When you're an athlete, if you're running a race, for example, they tell you, hey, you want to run the fastest possible? Keep your eyes forward. Do not look back. Don't look to the side. Don't try to figure out what was happening. If you take a wrong step, don't think of that step. Just move forward. Keep your feet moving. Move forward. In sports, in football. Next play. I mean, if you make a bad play, it's so hard to not have that crush your brain. You got to learn how to just think about the next move. It's the same thing in the rest of life, whether you're trading or whether you're in a relationship. Like, hey, if you make mistakes, if you do something wrong, learn from those mistakes, grow, but ultimately you do have to move forward. If you stay living in the past, this is one. I'll add a quote. We'll up your quote of the day, T-Shirt. Those who dwell in the past neither get to live in their past or their future.
Mm.
So like it's literally just wasting your time and life to dwell on the past. You're not doing anything with it. So I think Socrates gave us a whammy of a quote this afternoon. And T-Shroom, I'm glad you brought it to us like that.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Tim, I may be hungry for good quotes, but I'm also hungry for the charts. You ready to get on into it?
I will, and I'm going to start off by saying I have some frustrations here. So you guys are noticing my headgear's a little different. I might go back to the old headgear because I'm telling you right now, I barely hear myself. Like I don't know if I'm screaming right now. I know what I'm saying, but it's like muffled because the mic doesn't loop back in here. I can just hear T-Shroom, and then my monitors are shifted. It's like I usually am like watching you T-Shroom like over here, and then I'm doing charts over here, but it's now backwards, and I'm watching T-Shroom over here, and I'm doing my charts over here. So it's going to be a little bit different of a show today with
okay.
me getting a little lost here. But
I don't think I would have guessed that, and I don't think the audience would have either. You're coming in loud and clear.
Yeah, that's good. Good. You never know.
You gotta get yourself one of these bad boys right here. Underutilized the broadcast mic.
I like mics here. I like these. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out. Let's check out coin market cap first, because like I said, market caps of a lot of coins are moving up to the right. Bitcoin up 2.61% last 24 hours. But guys, it has been a minute since we saw Ethereum outpacing really the rest of the blue chips. Ethereum up 6.3%, give or take, in the last 24 hours. BNB, not far behind at 6%. But let's take a look at some other big ones. Solana, less than Bitcoin, only 1.8. XRP, hey, XRP is moving again, up above 63 cents. Although technically speaking, it was at 65 the other day. So let's get above 65, and then we can start having some XRP celebrations. But 3.5% for them. All right, there we go. Cardano can't let Ethereum have a day. Cardano has to outdo it, up 7.8%, but Dogecoin up 3%. Let's see. Matic, of course. Matic jumping up over $1 today, sitting at 104. We'll probably take a look at some Matic over on the charts. Let's see. Chainlink's having a big day at 9%. Let's take a look, though, at some big gainers and big losers as a whole in the last 24 hours. Biggest one, Bitcoin BSV, 41%. Put a 1 in chat if you guys invested in Bitcoin SV. I'm going to go on a limb here, T-Shroom. I don't think I'm ever going to invest in Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin SV, even though there's more volatility. You can make more money if you're reading it correctly. That's not my risky play. I'm going to stick with Bitcoin than other altcoins. But if you chose it today, you're a winner. You're the biggest winner. Optimism, of course, is pumping as well. I don't know if we're going to take a look at there or not. You guys will have to let me know in chat, but it is definitely pumping. Arbitrum up, of course. There's some big news between Arbitrum and Cardano, and I believe Mina as well. Mina, however you want to pronounce it. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Mina, that one. Let's see what else. Anything else big here? We'll take a look at the biggest losers here. 24-hour biggest losers. Say down 10%. Bonk was in first place this morning, but Bonk in second place, still down 7%, down 19, almost 20% on the week. Of course, it went parabolic. Quant also down here. I know I was talking to some people who were shorting Quant today, so it looks like they were having themselves a good little day. But as a whole, more green than red here on the market. Let's go ahead and take a look over here. Let's start off with Bitcoin. Now, I told you guys a lot of coins are breaking out. Bitcoin is not one of them. Bitcoin is still sitting kind of squarely right in here in this symmetrical triangle pattern. The question is, are we going to hold this blue line? Are we going to drop a little lower to this yellow line? Both of them are symmetrical triangle patterns. Both of them would be bullish, have bullish implications to break to the upside. In fact, this one, we could see this send us up above $50,000 if we continue to rally. But, as we said, volatile week, choppiness. We're waiting for something big to come in, and it wasn't even the announcement, T-Shroom. Of course, I'm sure we're going to get into that later on in the show. We're going to talk about the potential that the ETF is picking up steam to be approved by the 10th, and you would win our bet, and I buy you a steak. There's still time. We don't count on chickens before they hatch here in Investing Bros. But there's some good news there. But I'm a little curious as to why, T-Shroom, that news wasn't able to break through the yellow line. I do think we will. I do think Bitcoin's heading up into the right. But one of the reasons, we're seeing Ethereum Ethereum's crushing it, breaking above some resistance. It had actually came down, retested resistance as support, staying within a zone, but it beat out this high we had back here on the 22nd. We topped out today at 2376. There's a video I'm actually putting out tonight on Discover Crypto. If you guys want to go watch that, show it some love and support, comment down below. Shout out the investing bros. Down in there as well. But I'll talk about my price prediction for Ethereum coming up here towards $2,700, moving up to the top of the golden pocket. It does look like Ethereum is making a break for there. And let's just focus here for just a second on the ETH over Bitcoin chart. Another area where, let's not get crazy with it. Again, we don't count our chickens before they hatch, but I made a call. Those of you who watched a video I put out on Discover Crypto actually a couple months ago, I made a reaction to Ben Cowan's video where Ben Cowan called for this ETH over Bitcoin chart to drop all the way down to like the 0.035 level. And he kind of used past falling wedges. He talked about this period right here, and he predicted a big fall down to the 0.035. He kind of mapped that out. And I said, I don't think that's going to happen. In fact, I think the bottom is going to come in somewhere right around here at this wick we had back in June of 2022, somewhere around 0.049. Well, T-Shroom, let's look at where we just bottomed out here a couple of days ago, and we're making a nice little bounce. That wick right there hits 0.049 ETH over Bitcoin. We are moving to the upside here. You had a falling wedge pattern, these orange lines. We're moving to the upside on that longer time frame. Yes, we wicked below it, but that long time frame resistance and support level, that yellow dotted line, we are holding it. We're back up above it, making moves to the upside. I really do think Ethereum could be about to pop off. Of course, they have some really good news. Q1, there's a big upgrade coming that's going to help. I don't know if it's solve all the problems, but it's going to really help to fix some of the gas fees. I was actually talking with DZ today. DZ was reading something. I need to fact check this. So, do your own research still. I'll try to fact check this and get back to you. But the upgrade that's going to come to Ethereum, T-Shroom, could potentially make it to where like previous gas fees, like let's say you were going to spend $100. Previous gas fees that would have costed you $100 to transact are going to be brought down to about $10. So we're going to see literally like 10, like it's going to be 10% of former gas fees. If gas fees go down by 90%, if they become 10% of what they used to be, that will be absolutely massive, because right now the biggest complaint for Ethereum is those really, really high gas fees. If those come down and this upgrade works, watch out, guys. Ethereum's 2024 could get pretty nuts. And again, here, ETH over Bitcoin could be making a nice little ramp up to the upside. You guys can see we kind of bottomed out here on the RSI, even weekly chart. Bullish divergence here on the weekly chart, because you guys are going to look here and see that bottom corresponds right there, but we came a little bit lower, set up some nice reversal bullish divergence for ETH over Bitcoin. You'll love to see it. Let's see, did it do on the daily as well? Absolutely, it did. Got some nice bullish divergence on the daily chart as well. So looking really, really good here. Some other ones, we'll take some deeper dives here in a second. I want to get engaged with chat a little bit, engage with you, T-Shroom. Cardano, let's just do some kind of flyby TA just for a second, and then we can go deeper if people want to. Cardano broke through its upper level of resistance. There's still some levels I want to keep an eye on here for Cardano for potential moves to the downside. You guys can see my dotted line. I can explain why here in a little bit, but this is good news. What we're going to watch for, do we retrace back down to this blue line, find support, and bounce to the upside? In which case, then you're potentially looking to take a long once we pass this high of 63.9 cents, or do we fall back down to this formation, potentially make a move down here to my 59-cent level? Again, I can explain in the future if you guys want to talk about that. But Cardano breaking out, Link, after being pretty boring, breaking out of its symmetrical triangle pattern. Yeah, we had a fake out back here, so you always want to be aware that could happen again. But this long-term trend of resistance, we're breaking out here on Chainlink. It had gotten a little boring. After Link was probably the most explosive coin here to start all this rallying off back in October, it's been boring ever since about the 12th of November, where Solana and AVAX have had these massive pumps. So keep an eye on Link as well. AVAX kind of settling. Again, after having big days, AVAX, I have a lot of mess over here, so I'm going to clean that up here in a little bit. But AVAX not really pumping today. Solana not really pumping today. They're cooling off because they had their moment in the sun, but that doesn't mean I think that those rallies are over. It just means they're, again, not making huge moves today. It's time for some other guys to have some fun in the green. But with that said, T-Shroom, let's go ahead and throw it back to our bro cam. Let's check in with chat.
Let's do
Also,
it.
your thoughts. How are you feeling today about how the markets are looking?
I'm feeling good. I'm hearing a lot of folks saying, there's some topping signals and, it's time to sell, take some profits. I don't think this is a bad time to take some profits, right? But it's a terrible time to lose your exposure to crypto and especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? I think that these names are going to do very, very well over the next 6 months. And yes, there could be pullbacks. There could be 30%, even 40% pullbacks or more, right? But that's where I'm buying. I'm not going to be spooked out of the market right now. I'm not going to FUD out of the market and lose my exposure. Now, taking profits is something altogether, and that is a wise decision. Nobody's ever gone broke taking profits.
Yeah.
Piper got that from somewhere, but we often quote Piper, Army Piper, to say that. Check him out over at the Piper Academy. So that's kind of how I'm feeling. I DCA'd a little bit today. I've had some stuff going on in my personal finances, which haven't allowed me to DCA as much as I would have liked to, a wedding, which is fine. We have our joys in life. But the thing is that, I went ahead and I pulled the trigger on some Matic and some Solana. And I really hated buying Solana as high as it is. But the thing is before today, I had only about $30 worth of Solana.
Yeah.
So I had to get some exposure to Solana. I'm well exposed to other names, but that's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of the market today. Very excited in the miners. The miners have been outperforming Bitcoin, obviously, the last week. And so seeing some good rotations into coins that deserve it.
Listen, if you're in this for the long haul and you're holding, we had a price prediction video we made here on the channel. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. But we have Solana potentially running up $1,000. So let's just say it all kind of goes that way. That's still a 10x. Even if we have a dip beforehand and we move it up, you can still 10x that Solana holding. I think what you said right there, T-Shirt, was really good. This is the time you never go broke taking profits, but this is why we kind of preach here the concept of having two different portfolios. You have a HODL portfolio and you have your trading portfolio. You could go a step further. Here's reality. You could kind of have three different portfolios. You could have your long-term portfolio, meaning it doesn't matter if Bitcoin makes it to 100,000 or 200,000 or 500,000. You're not going to take profit. Why? Because that's sitting there for the long haul. 10, 15, 20 years. You're waiting for $1 million. You're waiting for 2 million. You're waiting for long things. So you might have a small portion where it's like that, where it's like, that's so easy. Just DCA into it. You're not taking profit for years. You're going to take that with a lighter tax bracket because you're going to have that long-term holding. You can have that one. I don't have a portfolio like that. I have a small one like that. I think probably about one Bitcoin's going to probably live like that. But I have my bull market portfolio where I have no intention of taking any profit until summer, fall of 2025. I'm going to take some profits, make some investments in my life and in some other stuff I want to do. But then I have my trading portfolio. So mostly you want at least your bull market portfolio, which is HODL. Do not touch. Do not worry about taking profits because we're nowhere close to the top. And then you have your trading portfolio where, hey, if you invested, if you put a couple, $100, maybe $1,000 into a trade here a couple months ago, maybe you threw on some 2x leverage, maybe 3x leverage, and you want to take some profit, beautiful time to do it. I do think we're having a little bit higher to go to the upside, but I think the prices are going to be dropping back down, not just where we currently are, but a little bit lower than that. You trade with your trading portfolio, meaning you take profits, you look for lower levels, you buy in, maybe you look for a short entry, but you do not touch your HODL portfolio, neither your long-term nor your bull market one. Just because, let's say you could predict this with perfection, and we're about to hit 50,000 and then drop back down to 27,000, right? I'm just throwing those numbers out there. I still would suggest don't take profit on it. Let that sucker ride because you can't predict it with perfection, and you don't want to risk that perfect scenario. Case in point, T-Shroom and I actually made this worse than T-Shroom, but I made the mistake. I actually took some profit right around $29,000, thinking we're about to go back down. Remember when I thought we were in that inverse head or that head and shoulders pattern that would send us back down to 20K? I took some profit, right? I thought my TA was good. I thought everything worked out. We ended up pumping the upside. I bought back in at 32, but how much money could I have made if I had just left it in like that? Learn my lesson. Guys, you definitely want to have your portfolio separated. Trade with your trading portfolio, take profits, look for lower entries. but do not touch that HODL portfolio. That is for the bull market or for your future. T-Shroom, great point you made right there. Let's check in with chat here. Someone did ask T-Shroom. Gary C said, T-Shroom, what type of stake are you going to order? I'm assuming that means Gary believes you will win our bet. And for those who don't know, that bet is T-Shroom believes we will have an ETF approved by the 10th. My suspicion, though, on my side is that Gary finds some BS reason to deny them once again or to postpone them. But things are coming. I mean, it's looking good for T-Shroom. So, I'm not going to hate. I'm going to be very proud of T-Shroom to get this right. But I'm not folding. I'm not going to just go ahead and try to make a deal and maybe, lessen the deal. I still believe there's a chance we don't have an ETF. But yeah, what stake do you want, T-Shroom? Yeah, $35 to Longhorn. What's that going to get you?
Excellent question, Tim. Well, I've got all the different kinds of stakes pulled up right here.
Yeah.
Let's see. You've got the hanger steak, prime rib
terrible.
roast. You've got
who orders? Guys. Who here is ordering a hanger steak?
New York strip, T-bone. I'll probably go with the New York strip. I don't have a New York strip very often. Yeah. So, and how do I get it cooked? I like it medium well. All the rare folks. I'll eat a rare steak every once in a while, but I just prefer the medium well. Call me crazy. Let us know in the chat. How do you like your steak cooked?
All right, I want to appeal the whole deal because I don't want my hard-earned money going towards a medium well-done steak.
He's backing out. I knew he was going to back out.
Listen, I just feel like you're mistreating steak in general. Like, what's the point of ordering the steak if you're going to cook it like that? Why don't you just get some beef jerky? You need, at worst, medium, but rare is the way to go for sure. I'm very disappointed in you, T-Shroom.
I like it medium well. What can I say? For
gracious.
me, I like to let the butter and the seasoning kind of have more time to spend and form that relationship with the meat. When it's cooked rare, sometimes that doesn't happen. Look, I like a rare steak. It's just we're asking my preference.
Gracious. Let's see here, guys. We're going to be getting in here to our factoid of the day, getting into some news. Go ahead and drop in chat. We did some kind of quick technical analysis, kind of broad overview. Let's talk more about that here in a little bit, but I want you guys to go into chat and let me know which coins you want to see more in depth. We probably are going to lean more towards ones that people know. So if you throw a coin out there that no one's ever heard of, or at least T-Shroom and I have never heard of, your chances aren't great, but let me know which ones you want to see more in depth on, even if it's just Cardano, Solana, Chainlink, Bitcoin. If it is Matic or Optimism, freaking crushing it right now. Let me know what coins you want some more in depth, TA. But T-Shirt, let's go ahead and get that factoid of the day. Now that I'm very disappointed in you with your stake choices, I really hope Gary Gensler delays it at this point, just so that that doesn't happen to a poor stake out there.
Absolutely. Well, Gary Gensler is going to do a lot of things in 2024, and some of those things may actually negatively affect your portfolio, right? But that's actually pretty crazy. But what's not crazy is you can protect your crypto gains by using NordVPN. So NordVPN is one of the top internet security providers for businesses and for professionals, and for individuals. And you can actually get a link to their services here in our description. Right here, you got the NordVPN 2-year plan plus an additional month with a huge discount. And it's also risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So you have everything to gain and nothing to lose by going and sampling the wares there of NordVPN. They're going to get you right, folks. They're going to get you where you need to be. And you're going to have a good time. Seeing Kelly Kellum in the chat. Kelly, maybe you can guess the answer to this factoid, which is, what country was the Glock designed in? USA, England, Austria, or Germany?
I'm leaning towards USA or Germany.
Okay. I like those. Those are some good guesses.
I think I'm going to go USA. And I'm not a gun nerd. I like guns. I love shooting them, but I actually don't own a gun right now. I need to change that here. I probably should get a Glock, but the question is it made in the USA or is it made in Germany? And it's just designed in. Oh, well, that changes things. Because I was like, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure most of them are made in the USA. But I'm gonna stick with it. Even though I see people saying other answers, I'm going to go with USA.
You're locking it in.
USA all the way.
Kelly, what is your answer? We'd like to know too. Also,
Kelly would probably know the answer to this question.
Mr. J is pretty emphatic
what?
that it's C.
He's saying Austria.
Oh, is that actually Kelly verbally?
Yeah, he's
answering?
yelling at me through the door.
That's
Wait,
fun.
are you trying to come in? Hold on, give me a second. He's trying to come in, but I locked the door.
Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, the real beauty of NordVPN is that you have all this information.
What's
you have
up,
emails,
folks?
you have messages.
Austria, baby.
Austria. Yeah, well, I already said USA, and I'm a man of my word, so I'm going to stick with my loss. If Kelly's right, which I have a feeling he is, and I'm wrong, that's just how it works, and that's fine. I'll get over it. I'll cry a little bit, and then move on with my life. We're locking in America.
I love it. I love it. Well, the factoid of the day is indeed brought to you by NordVPN. Let's go ahead and get into some of the stories here. This is kind of the big one in my opinion. Warren Davidson issuing a tweet. This is a Congressman, Warren Davidson, former Army Ranger, so Special Forces, super, super cool, and trusts Jesus. So that's really good. Doesn't even say that he's a congressman. Restoring a government. Okay, interesting.
That's one way to say it. One way to say
2024 would be a great time to hashtag fire Gary Gensler, pass the SEC Stabilization Act, hold the SEC accountable for its corruption, and end the accredited investor rule that protects deal flow for the donor class. That's pretty big too. Very, very big. Arguably way bigger than the implications for crypto. This is trillions of dollars locked up right now that can't access the retail investor. Okay, so that's a pretty big headline. We've seen this before, though, and one of the first comments I think says it well. Stop talking and take action. Subpoena GG. We will put you in office to represent us, so do it already. So there's some people that are voicing frustration. This isn't going far enough, and it kind of isn't. I mean, this is a tweet. It's nice to see, Warren, that you're on the right side of history at least from our perspectives. But
it could be a great catalyst, T-Shroom, to get him fired.
What's that?
If he denies the ETFs on the 10th.
Yeah.
And then Tim gets a nice steak made the correct way, and that is rare. So
I love it. Well, Warren Davidson, he is a congressman. I don't know why he doesn't have that in his bio, but maybe he's proud to not have it. So that's pretty cool. Moving right along. Ripple moves 97 million XRP as the price rises. There's not a ton much more than that, but it kind of does raise the question of why did they move?
where did they move it to?
So they apparently they moved it from one internal wallet to another. These were two of the.
Is that the same whale? The whale alert right there. It says it moves from Binance to an unknown wallet. Is that the same? Are they speculating that that's the count?
I actually think this is a separate movement. This is from the 26th. I think it might be a separate movement. But the largest chunk contained this one. So this was one of many that was all within about 70 million XRP and 27.8 million XRP, the equivalents of about
43 million to 17. Yeah.
Yeah. So
cool.
So about 60 million, 70 million, excuse me, all when it's all said and done. The 70 million transfer was conducted by Ripple FinTech Heavyweight. It moved these funds into an unknown direction. The 27.8 million transfer was initiated by an unidentified wallet and sent to the Bitstamp cryptocurrency exchange. BitHop has revealed, so this is according to BitHop, however, that the former transaction has moved to a wallet belonging to Ripple, making it an internal XRP transfer. For the latter, according to BitHop, it was a transfer made by Ripple connected wallet to Bitstamp. This exchange is among these cryptocurrency trading platforms that collaborate with Ripple to support Ripple payment platforms, which run on RippleNet and ensures fast and low-cost transactional payments using XRP. So it could just be as simple as they're sending that liquidity over to a trading platform for just trading purposes, for liquidity for a trading platform, Bitstamp. But this will be one that definitely has XRP holders kind of scratching their head. Why is this going on? Should I sell my XRP? For sure. So, Tim, we've kind of gotten to the details. One of the questions is XRP ever going to stop being a stable coin and actually pump again? It hasn't really seen a pump. We've seen ADA has had a nice pump. Maddox getting a nice pump today. AVAX, obviously Solana and Chainlink. Bitcoin, have all had really, really big pumps of 30% or more, over the last couple months. But XRP kind of languishing from behind.
See, this is where I technically disagree. XRP did have a pump. It just had it back here in July. Now it's had a nice one. I mean, it's not like it did nothing. Look, if you look at October when everything kind of got exciting, XRP actually is up 54%. It rallied up 54%, right? So actually, Ethereum slightly outdid it. But at the time, it was one of the larger movers of the coins. But the truth is, we talked about this, I think, last week on one of the shows. XRP did have a pump. It just happened back in July. They had its really big news. There was a lot of hype. It got all taken away. There are some new concerns about XRP. Now, I still think XRP will be bullish. I still think XRP will see new all-time highs. But do you guys remember my portfolio that I made months ago where I put XRP pretty much into my top 4 to 5 coin holdings because I thought it was going to have one of the most explosive bull markets? That has changed. Am I still bullish on XRP? Yes, I am. But with the amount of external and internal competition that XRP is going through, it's gonna get suppressed. Whereas we could have potentially legitimately seen a $20 to $30 XRP. That's a big range, but we could have seen it. Now I'm leaning back down towards, guys. I think a $12 to $15 XRP. That's still a lot of money, by the way, guys. That's still a big one. But that to me is like the most bullish I'm seeing XRP get at this point.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm definitely waiting on a lot of fundamental changes in order for me to enter back in XRP. I currently have zero exposure to XRP and don't have any
I think
changes.
at the moment I'm completely out. I took some profit on some stuff. Don't have it in my long-term holding yet.
Now, you also have heard a lot of folks being bearish on Ethereum, and I think that is completely unfounded. I think that Ethereum is far from dead. XRP is also far from dead as well, but there's just not much to get excited about right now. Now, that could change, but
I think the best way to put that is XRP is far from excitement, whereas Ethereum is not as far from excitement as people are treating it.
Right. Yeah. That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
I was also looking as well. I'll make this one quick. I was looking at the charts for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and from the June lows, June of 2022, Bitcoin and Ethereum are actually up the same percentage. Do you know that? So Bitcoin dipped down lower than Ethereum did on the price structure.
And that makes sense because it just came down and touched that exact same bottom point.
They're both up like 122%, Ethereum and Bitcoin, again, from those June lows of 2022. Yeah. So people think that Ethereum's falling behind, guys. That is not accurate, and I have every reason to believe that Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin again, as it always has.
Yeah.
So,
well, to be fair, in crypto, if you're not outperforming Bitcoin, you're doing something wrong. That's a problem if you're not outperforming Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not. It's so large at this point. It's not made to be the biggest gainer. It's the safest gainer, but if you're not beating Bitcoin, then your project might be in trouble.
Well, here's why. Here's why I think this narrative is proliferated, because Ethereum is number 2, right? And for intensive purposes, it's the number one altcoin. Bitcoin, in a lot of folks' mind, is just positioned differently than the rest of crypto. So when we're talking about the Web3 race, right, Ethereum is in the lead, and so it doesn't need to shout as loud because its mere existence is doing all the shouting for it. Whereas the Binances, the Solanas, definitely the XRPs, right? To some extent, the Cardanos, AVAX, Polkadot, Polygon, Tron, all of these have organizations behind them that also have marketing spend budgets, right? And so I see constantly articles, I see analysts coming out, I see even YouTube influencers who are fixated on one coin or another and saying this is going to be the next Ethereum for sure, and that you need to short Ethereum, right? And I think that eventually, you fast forward 20 years from now, I don't think Ethereum is the central crypto, but I don't think today we really have the sophistication to understand what the central crypto will be in the future outside of Bitcoin. So that's my perspective on that. You may have a different one. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat what you think. Tim,
there's a lot of time between now and the future, obviously. Uh, Ethereum needs to do things. Like if Ethereum doesn't make big changes and big moves, it is in trouble in the next 10 years. But it has time to make. And like I said, this upgrade that's coming out here within Q1 of 2024 could be really big. I still think there's other things that are long-term scalable problems for Ethereum, but there's a lot of time for them to be able to fix it. What's really interesting is do they give up trying to claim to be decentralized altogether? We already know when you're centralized, it's easier to move faster, aka Solana. Hope I'm not breaking anyone's heart or hurting your feelings, but let's not beat around the bush. Solana is not a decentralized platform. It is centralized. That's why it can move so fast. That's why it can do things so well. It's why it's so attractive to institutions. Ethereum is sitting in this kind of weird boat where they really are not decentralized, but they're still trying to claim to be and make moves to be that way. I think what might be best for Ethereum is to give it up. Stop trying to be decentralized. Just own that you're a centralized platform. Own that you are the fastest, biggest, greatest, because that's what they are at the moment. They're not the fastest, but they're the biggest, and everyone wants to build on them. Just own it. I don't think you're going to be in trouble. I think that might be a problem for Ethereum in the future is if they keep trying to act like they're decentralized. That's Cardano's game at this point. Everyone who loves decentralization is going to go to Cardano, but if you just want speed and big movers, Ethereum might be able to keep its number 2 spot with that.
Think about it like this, guys. We're actually seeing this in the automotive industries. The way that the market pans out is it's almost never all or nothing, right? It almost never pans out to be one giant monopoly, right? So take the EV revolution, for example. Tesla has introduced a revolutionary new technology that's electric vehicles. Ford, GM, right? They've taken this concept and they've innovated, right? And they've introduced their own electric vehicles. However, what looks like it's going to be selling really well for the big boys, the incumbents of the industry, Ford and GM, is actually hybrid vehicles, right? So while Solana may be adopted by folks who don't value decentralization all that much, there still absolutely will be a market for a truly decentralized blockchain. So, the comparison there is that, some folks want purely an electric vehicle. They're going to find the best in class at Tesla, in my opinion, in the opinion of the market right now. If you look at the actual sales and what percentage are selling that are available, it's Tesla by a long shot. But if you want a hybrid vehicle, that's reliable and you can get a ton of maintenance in every single city, there are better alternatives than Tesla because Tesla doesn't even make hybrids, right? But by the same token, the underlying infrastructure and the underlying technological revolution is just electronic vehicles in general, right? Which was really originally innovated by Toyota over at Prius with their Prius. So what has become blockchain has become very, very popular through Bitcoin, right? Kind of the OG decentralizer. You had a bunch of other offerings brought to the market, with Cardano, now Solana, Ethereum. They're all going to fit different parts of the market that is demanding slightly different blockchain services. Some of you already know that. That's extremely obvious to you. Others are thinking about it like that for the first time. And I'm happy to bring you those types of insights. So make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel if you want more like that. Tim, we've got some more news here. Let's go ahead and get into it. But that was a good little combo.
We're going to get into some. Yeah, we're going to get into some charts here in a second. Just going to answer chat. A lot of people asking for Cardano. I saw some other coins as well. So keep putting in coins you guys want to see TA on, but a lot of Cardano. People ask for Cardano, asking if that's breaking out. Someone asked, are the monitors behind me real? Those are 100% real. Those are real. And I want to change them. Like I just came here. The 2 vertical ones, I think I want to take those and turn them sideways. Well, maybe even some more. I think it's a cool little dungeon. Here's what I'll say. I'm not signed into them, so I'll go ahead and spoil that one. I'm not using those for anything. You have to sign into TradingView on this one, and if I sign in there, it wants to kick me out on this computer, so why am I going to do that? The other, I think we have CoinGlass up there. We have CoinMarketCap. They're for visual, pleasure. That's what they're here for. They're here to look cool. But don't tell anyone else that. You guys, because it's the first day I'm doing it, I'm telling you guys, so you're in on it. Everybody else, they're going to think that those are legit and they're real.
Yeah. We've got a
But
special friend in the chat here, Gregory Gressick, none other than
Gregory
Big
Greziak.
GGs, throwing up the GGs. He said Cardano just broke out of a symmetrical triangle. Tim, can you confirm that? And what time frame are you seeing?
We're going to have to wait. You guys have to stay in here. No, don't show them my screen, T-Shroom. They have to wait. We're going to finish up the news, get the answer to our trivia question that I got wrong, and then we'll jump into some charts. But yes, ADA just broke. Is it going to stay broke, or is it a fake out? We're going to talk about that here in just a second.
All right, guys, I'm sorry, my energy levels are low. I'm fighting a sore throat. My throat is on fire right now, but we're going to continue to bring you the fuego that is here from the information on the news. So let's get into it. First mover America's Barry Silbert resigns as Grayscale chairman. Now, do I, T-Shroom, know all the inner workings of what's going on over at DCG,
Yes.
Digital Currency Group? No, I don't. But there is someone who does. This is the number one investor in Grayscale, according to some articles that I was reading earlier, and he has broken it down for us pretty well. I covered this on the 9 a.m. stream. I'm going to cover it again, and you're going to hit the like button because you appreciate the hard work we do here at the Investing Bros, even when we have inflamed sore throats. Barry's resignation was Sonnen Shin's Xmas gift, right? So, and Sonnen Shin, he's the CEO of Grayscale. And for those of you who don't know anything about this story yet, Barry Silbert, he's resigned as the Grayscale chairman, not the CEO of DCG. Just to be clear.
Interesting.
What to make of Barry Silbert resigning from Grayscale? Grayscale has had 9 meetings with the SEC per the table below. We'll look at that in a second. Today, there were only allegations against DCG, which have not been resolved in a court of law. Even though the evidence submitted in the complaints looks damning, it sure looks like DCG is a modern Enron in this guy's humble opinion. Majority investor in DCG. I don't know if he's a majority, but he's a significant investor. The SEC also has their own investigation against DCG, which is led by Barry Silbert. Okay. So his read on this is that this is a decision from Barry to improve the odds of the ETF approval. Okay. I doubt the SEC gave formal guidance to Barry to resign from the board. Barry, by all accounts, is hands-on and would prefer control. The SEC should not weigh in on how Grayscale should govern itself. Perhaps the SEC might indicate informally the strength of an application, purely speculating. And then third is that the CEO of Grayscale, Sonnen Shin, has one of the best jobs in the world. He has emerged unscathed from the drama of the DCG mothership, and Barry's resignation gives Grayscale greater anonymity. So there, and then there's a table that's referenced. So it's to me, it rings pretty true, right? We are not DCG insiders. There's no way we could have known this, but we do get a little bit of a peek behind the curtain to see, kind of the preponderances of someone who is also pretty qualified, is a certified financial analyst, and he's someone who's got some exposure to the cap tables there over at DCG. So it's interesting to kind of get his take. It's also the year of the heads of the snakes, right, being removed. I don't mean snakes in a bad term, more of like the Greek mythological using of that type of metaphor, right? Where you started off the year with SBF, right, being completely severed. Then you had CZ, the head of that snake being completely removed, right, somewhat willingly. And now you're having, another, I would say, does not compare to the size and scale of FTX and Binance, but, DCG is a pretty big institution within the crypto space. And so, Gary Silbert, the head of that institution, kind of stepping down from the board of Grayscale to increase the odds of a spot Bitcoin ETF application approval does seem to make sense. What do you think about that, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, everyone is talking about this. I think the biggest takeaway from this step down is just that a lot of these guys who built, and you kind of referenced all those names, a lot of the guys that built the foundations of the crypto ecosystem to what we're going to see moving forward, they're stepping down or stepping away, and it's like all new players. You do have to kind of scratch your head at some of the moves, T-Shroom, though, because all these guys are stepping away while we're seeing Larry Fink and BlackRock start to emerge. And we're seeing the players from JP Morgan start to emerge, even though they want to say they're not getting crypto. They really are. And we're seeing, we're seeing a bunch of TradFi people make their name known in the crypto space, and all the old heads are leaving. I don't know if I can tie them together and give you guys a definite, yes, there's fishy stuff going on and this is all tied together, but it sure does have that feeling like it does, Tisha. I mean, it's coincidental at best that all the old heads are dipping out of crypto and the TradFi guys are taking over. Is it correlated or is it uncorrelated? That's where I don't have any evidence to say one way or the other.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the way that insiders are seeing the situation, and I tend to, kind of invest accordingly. That's the kind of way that if I'm positioning my portfolio, that I would be investing. Full disclosure, I'm not making any changes as a result of this Barry Silbert move, and I will say I have quite a bit of GBTC. GBTC is I've decently exposed, because I like it. I think it's going to do well. I think it's going to get approved, and I think it's going to flip.
Do you think it's going to get? Do you think they approve the transfer of the GBTC trust into an ETF, or do they make them start it all over? Okay, interesting. I don't have a strong opinion, but I've heard rumblings on both sides of the camp that they might say, "Hey, you can start an ETF, Grayscale, but you cannot just transfer all the trust funds over. You have to start from scratch."
It's possible.
Yeah,
it's possible. In any case, I'm not making any changes as of now. I think that there's nothing but stability over there at Grayscale. They're one of the largest Bitcoin holders because of their trust. So, I don't want to exit that position unless something changes. Yeah. And I haven't seen anything to kind of necessitate that. We have one more very bullish story, and that is one you've probably already seen today, but MicroStrategies buys another $615 million worth of Bitcoin, pushing holdings to 5.9 billion with an average entry of 42,110 per Bitcoin. Let me know in the chat, do you have a better average entry than MicroStrategies? I bet you do, because 42,000 is pretty high. Let me know what you guys think. Wait a second. No, that's the price they bought at. The average entry for MicroStrategies is 31,168. That's not too bad.
No, it's not bad.
But mine's better, and I'd be willing to guess that Tim, definitely yours is better, and we have some folks in the chat who are way better average entry.
I will say it's not as good as it should be, but I do think my average buy-in for Bitcoin is probably sitting in the lower 20s. But that's because I purchased over half of my holding that I have at $11,000 on the way up. Like,
wow.
When I say that, I put more money in that time, but at the time it was the cheapest spot, and half of what I own now in Bitcoin is from that purchase. So that's that really helps the average when you got a lot of it coming in down that low. Let's do this. Let's get the answer to our trivia question. We got a lot of chat in here. People definitely want the TA for Cardano.
They do.
We're gonna look at some other coins. I saw a great suggestion. Let's take a look at the Solana over Ethereum chart. Definitely, that was going in one direction to the upside, up and to the right. I have to go this way, I think, with it. And it's now coming back down. We'll definitely take a look at that one. But go ahead and tell me, T-Zoom. Tell me I was wrong. Tell me it was Austria. What was the answer to our trivia question?
Well, Tim, our trivia factoid of the day was brought to you by NordVPN. Link in the description for 30-day risk-free guarantee. You can send it back if you don't like it, right? But try it out. It is a great VPN. If you've never gotten a VPN before, you at least need to have one. So start your cybersecurity journey today with NordVPN. Again, link in the description of this video. The answer is Austria.
Yeah.
There you go. Gadsden, now there's a reason behind this factoid today, and it's an unfortunate one, but Gadsden Glock was born 19 of July, 1929, and he died today. So 27th of December, obviously that's today. He was an Austrian engineer and businessman who founded the company Glock, which developed the Glock pistol in 1982. So not that long ago.
Interesting.
A lot of folks, you'd probably think that it's a bit older than that. But there it is. Yeah, absolutely. This is what he looked like in memorandum of Gadsden Glock. Again, passed away, unfortunately, today. But, he left a pretty good legacy, I'd say, of of
Yeah.
excellence in firearm production. So there you go.
Perfection continues.
That's right.
All right, well, we're going to change from somber to exciting. Let's go ahead and go check out the charts. By the way, guys, over 100 of you guys in here. Thank you so much for watching. Smash that like button if you guys have enjoyed the show so far today. And if you're new here, you can hit subscribe as well. Let's talk about Cardano. You guys have mentioned this before. Breaking out. Actually, we talked about it earlier in the show, so in case you're joining late, we did drive-by TA early in starting the show. Cardano broke above this rising level, but you guys see my lines here. I have some red lines here that I do think could be interesting. We don't necessarily have strong divergence here on the RSI. The MACD is moving to the upside here on the 4-hour chart. So not necessarily screaming anything, although technically speaking, you do see that's actually, if we don't keep rallying here, that actually is bearish divergence now that I'm looking at it. It just was kind of snuck up, and it's kind of like not perfect. Lower RSI, definitely lower MACD. The blue line is what we're looking at here. Come on now. Sometimes with new computers, you don't get the click. There you go. Lower MACD levels, lower RSI levels. But when you look at candle body closes, which, in case you guys are wondering, when you're looking for divergences, you're looking at candle closes, not candle wicks. So that is technically bearish divergence. What do we need to do to avoid that? We need the price to continue to move to the upside. So is that a lock? Are we saying that's done? Cardano's in a bearish divergence here on the 4-hour chart? No, but it needs to make some further moves to the upside for sure to cancel it out. Keep an eye right here on 64.4 cents and also down here at about 59.1 cents. Now, things can change here. As I do more of this analysis using our liquidation charts, I am learning you got to continue to keep your eyes on the prize here. Now, T-Shroom, this is going to be interesting. I cannot slide this over. So, yeah, there you go. You can slide it for me. There we go. All right, so I'm on Ethereum right now. Let's take off Ethereum. Let's go to Cardano, and let's take a look at where we have some liquidations. Let's move it off the 3-month. Let's go to the 12-hour and take a look at what Cardano is doing right here, and we'll zoom in. You guys can see, took out some heavy liquidations this morning over here at about 62.4, but now we're kind of looking at this range right here. Now, we do have some interesting levels up here to where 64.4. And technically there's liquidations up above it, up towards 65. So I'm not ruling that area out, but I'm interested that if we keep moving to the upside, I'm interested to see what happens there about 64.4. But why am I interested? Because look at the liquidity below us. It definitely is interesting all the way down to 60 cents. But in reality, I'm kind of looking there again, 59.1, 59.2. You still see some lighter green, borderline yellow liquidations. Now, this is changing. I do think some people have been taking profits. So you could almost make this move up to probably closer to 59.7. Is where it's different. Earlier today, like even when I was running the show, we had more light green and yellow down here. This is changing. What does that mean? It means whereas before there was liquidations that you could have pushed the price back down there and liquidated from long positions, clearly there was heavy scalps down here that people took their profits. They took their profits up here, and now those liquidation levels are rising to the upside. So what are we kind of looking at when we go back over to the charts? Could we potentially see this be a fake out? Let's move this up. Let's move it up to about 59.7, give or take. Can't do it perfectly, but all right, we're just going to go to 59.6, whatever. Could we potentially see the price action on Cardano make a move to the upside, kind of fill the liquidity up there, and then make a move back down, kind of faking people out, back down to yellow line of support, and then we have our explosion. We clear out all of those long liquidations. This is, again, in a market where there's a lot of craziness. There's not the explosiveness hasn't really started. Yes, we broke through resistance, but we're not like doing it with fireworks. The volume is not like crazy high, right? This is not out of the normal for Cardano traders to take advantage of a lot of retail interest right now and saying, oh, guys, we broke a resistance level. That means we have to go up to the right, correct? Well, that's what's going to cause a lot of people to enter some longs. You'll see more liquidations come in. When you enter a long here, it's going to put those liquidations in probably lower, or people are going to put stop losses. And then it's going to just be easy pick'ems for the expert traders, the whales, to sell off, to short the market, bring it back down, cancel out those liquidations, and then they get to restart the rally, and then the fireworks start, the volume comes in, price goes to the upside, right? There's actually even some things we kind of see in with liquidations here. Let's go to the, I think, not liquidation, sorry, order blocks here on the hourly chart. You do see there are some order blocks kind of meeting that same area right up here at about 64.6, 64.4. There's some good order blocks up here. We have order blocks down here towards 59. That's part of the reason why 59 was in my equation originally, even though we don't have those same levels. So keep your eye there. That could be we drop all the way to that level. We have some extreme fake outs. Even the hourly chart on the RSI getting a little high here. Let's see what the Bollinger Bands are saying. Let's pull these down. Bollinger Bands were definitely overextended, but we've been there for a while. Might be time to go ahead and cool off. So what I'm looking at with Cardano, guys, this is the scenario that I'm looking for. A lot of you guys are not going to want to hear this. A lot of you guys want me to tell you buy right now and we're going up into the right, but that's not what I'm telling you. In reality, this is what we're looking for. When do we keel over, right? This is a don't chase the trade, wait for it, wait for the right opportunity, and enter when the moment is correct. We're either looking for a pump up and filling this liquidations, and then a move back down to the downside and to retest former resistance as support. I don't care if it's the blue line, if it only makes it back down to this wick. What I'm looking for to enter a long position is either A, the kind of bullish scenario, we fill this, we come back down, we find support here, and then we bounce back up. I'm entering my trade. Let's say that's the price action. I'm entering my trade right here at about 64.6. I'm waiting for the confirmation that this wasn't a fake out. This was actually a clearing of the support level. Otherwise, now I got to get rid of all this stuff right here. Otherwise, potentially what we might see some hesitation and then a fall down to this level. Now what I'm looking for is potentially if I want to do a kind of, this isn't always great practice with trading, but we fill that liquidity. I'm going to enter my trade here at 59.7, even go a little bit lower, and I'm going to wait for that pullback to the upside, and I'm going to ride that out. My two entry zones are going to be, let's pretend, again, we top this out and come back down. No matter what, I'm going to at least be waiting for a revisit here, or I'm going to be waiting for a revisit down here. Those are my two buy spots. Obviously, I'd rather buy this one. It's lower. It will make me more money on my trade. A lot of you want me to say, Tim, can't we just buy right here? Well, that's perfect if we do nothing but up and to the right. But in my experience, it's really never that simple unless some sort of breaking news comes out in the next 10 minutes that I'm not aware of. Watch for continual volatility to happen in Cardano. With that being said, though, I am still bullish. I still believe that we're going to see a big breakout here. Daily Bollinger Bands, you're seeing the constrictions. This is another reason, though, guys, think that we could potentially see a pullback. Daily Bollinger Bands are constricting, which is a sign that the markets are getting ready for a big move, but it's not there yet. And look at how low the lower band is right here. It's going to keep climbing. It's going to keep doing this, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're waiting just another day or two for this to get a little higher. Maybe that price comes back down to these levels, and then it makes its breakout up like that. So that's what I'm seeing here on Cardano. Might not be what you want, but again, if you're patient, the patient traders are the ones that make all the money.
That's right. Tim, take a look at this really quick. Yeah. The Dixie has broken down in this regression trend that I've had up back since December 1st. So the Dixie really...
Oh, it's at 100. Yeah.
And it's a big candlestick too. You also see this mirrored over on the 10-year. The yield's getting down to 3.79 on the 10-year, guys. This was at 5% just in October 23rd. I don't think I've ever seen a move this fast on the 10-year Treasury notes. That is some very big volatility in what a lot of folks consider to be the bedrock of the global financial system, the 10-year Treasury note for the United States government. So very interesting. Of course, very bullish for Bitcoin.
Yeah, absolutely bullish for crypto. It's bullish for everything. It's bullish for the stock market. It's bullish for speculative assets. It's bullish for securities. It's bullish. Pretty much everything but the dollar. It's bullish.
It's bullish for lions, bullish for tigers, and even bullish.
Not bullish for bulls, though. They don't like it. Let's take a look. I'm actually interested to take a look at this Solana over ETH chart. I can't remember who suggested it, but you know who you are, and you did a great job by suggesting it. Now, on the daily chart, still a lot of white there, a lot of white candles. As we're kind of zooming out here, take a look here. Ever since back here in June, really, of 23, it's been pretty much up and to the right. We're not at all-time high. We stopped just short of it. But when we come here to the 4-hour chart and down, you guys are seeing we peaked out nice right there. We are moving down to the downside hourly chart even more. So let's take a look at some of our longer term oscillators, see what they are saying. because we almost set new highs. Yeah, really high in the daily. We came up here all the way to about 89 on the RSI. The MACD you're seeing here, it peaked, but it's now curling over, coming back down to the downside. So it's not the nail in the coffin necessarily, but it is something to definitely keep your eye on. Definitely overextended. We kind of went past reversal calls here, but we're definitely overextended there on the wave band. So we could definitely make a move back to the downside. How far could we go, though? How far could we pull back here on ETH over Solana? Why are you not listening to me, chart? Come on, click. There we go. All right. Sometimes the charts, they just hate to move in your direction. Let's go. Let's start actually here where it gets exciting in September. September is kind of where I want to start this Fibonacci retracement that I think could happen. Come on now, Fibonacci. Come on and play with me. Let's go ahead and take a look up here. So we're not even anywhere close to the 0.236. Do not be surprised if we see this pull back down towards the 0.382, 0.5. Worst case scenario, golden pocket. I do not think over the long haul we're going to see this move to the downside. I do think we're seeing Sol over ETH move up and to the right. Sol's going to outpace Ethereum in the same way Ethereum is going to outpace Bitcoin. But it is time for a little bit of a cool off. Take a look right here. 0.236 is going to be interesting. 0.382, though, for sure could be interesting as well. You're also seeing, take a look here at the volume. Volume definitely upticking right here as we made this big push to the upside. But sometimes you see that volume increase and be a little bit of a top indicator as well. It's definitely time to cool off. And if you're people like Arthur Hayes for sure is a big believer right now that it's time to take some profits from Solana, flip it over into Ethereum. But we are seeing a little bit of a cool off there on the Sol over Ethereum chart. Even when you're taking a look at them again, Ethereum, it's getting started and it's moving to the upside. It had a big day today. I'm on the daily chart. If we go down the 4-hour chart, definitely see some volume coming in to confirm this big breakout to the upside versus Solana is a little up to date, back up at 110, but of course it peaked here at 126. Even if it trades sideways, I'm not going to be surprised to see Ethereum start to climb with Solana maybe trickling a little slower behind it. I will say at this point, it's up and touched its platinum pocket. That is Solana. Potentially, do we see a retouch of the high we had in April of 2022 at 142? Chat, let me know what you guys think about that. 142 for Solana. About 2 weeks ago, I would have told you I would have thought $90 to $100 would be a nice range to hit. But with how fast we moved over the Christmas weekend, up above 100 to 120, Solana's hot, and a lot of people are liking it. This is proof to me that the institutions have high levels of demand for it. So definitely going to be one of my top holders, one of my top holdings in the next bull market. I do not have an average buy-in where I really want to. It would have been nice to buy in somewhere over here towards 13. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I wasn't going to buy at $8, and I don't regret that decision because at the time, I didn't think highly of Solana. And everything we knew about Solana, it looked like it was a project that was going to do poorly. But as we bounced back up and found some stability, should have been buying here at 21, 24. I think a lot of my buys in came in here around $40 or so. That's completely fine because, again, a project that maybe is going to get closer to $1,000, a $40 entry, I'll take that 6 out of the 7 days of the week. I'll leave one day to say I can beat myself up for not buying in a little sooner. But look for potentially, we'll talk in the future again. I don't want to be a pessimist. There's so much optimism and so much bullishness right now. But probably early in January, we'll start to take looks at where these projects could be pulling back to. Because a lot of you guys are asking, a lot of you guys are saying, Tim, I'm loving how high Solana is. I'm loving how high AVAX and Cardano. But honestly, I missed the boat. Where can I buy in again? Right? So we will turn our attention probably early in January to, all right, it's time to be taking some profits, looking for some pullbacks. Again, not with our HODL portfolio, but with our trading portfolio, or at least the part of our portfolio we're willing to take profit on. That's what we're going to start looking at in January. But for now, it's pretty much just what are we doing up and to the right? And for Solana, 142 is definitely within the cards.
I love it.
What time is it?
4:03.
Oh, we're late. We went long. People get some bonus time here on Investing Bros today. Well, guys, that is all we have for you in this show. But thank you to every single one of you who are here. I see 115 people live in chat. On your way out, smash that like button. Hit that subscribe. Like we said, we are now above 6,500 subscribers. We have a couple days left to get to 7,000, but we need your help. Also, if you guys want to interact with me and T-Shroom and a bunch of other really cool people, a lot more, make sure you join the free Discord. And if you want to support the channel, make sure you join the memberships as well. Some cool features for them. Like, for example, one of the features we don't address enough. Every single morning, I'm putting out a TA video about some price predictions, some trading tips. All of our members get those about 45 to 30 minutes early, so you can go ahead and see where the charts are just in case something breaks once we post it or so. But also some really cool chat. Gold members, we have a trading group. I'm in there all day, every day, and I'm going to be in there a lot more with some things changing in my life as well. So make sure you guys join the memberships today, get some really cool features, access to me and T-Shroom. With that said, though, everybody, that's all we have for you in this episode. We will see you tomorrow with the same show lineup. Make sure you guys are back here tomorrow. And that's all I got. I'll see you.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.
Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros.